and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and Coralie Karen, the unmistakable combination synergized to navigate.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our own way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, it will all seem better outside. Just us in the sky. Part of this circus, is it innate? Feels like a heavy burden, but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter, or is this our fate? At least now I'm feeling better, I know I'm here to stay. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to
Welcome to the breakfast hour. Welcome. It is a terrific Tuesday. It is another day that, of course, we have the opportunity to live fully and embrace our journey. I just want to welcome our viewers and our listeners, whether you have joined us on social media platform, Facebook or YouTube. We are certainly happy that you have decided to join us today. Now, Tuesday is a day that we set aside where we talk about finances, how to manage the resources that we have been blessed with. Good morning, Mikey G.
Good morning, Lady Elise. And I want to say welcome also to our viewers and listeners this morning on all our social media platforms, as Lady Elise says, and indeed on radio, www.flashpointmedia.ky this morning. Whether you are in the YouTube or the Facebook, you can also get audio. So if you're driving and you don't want to maybe pay attention to the screen, you can get it on the radio. We are web radio right here at www.flashpointmedia.ky. Of course, this morning, it is a very good, nice morning, Lady Elise. We get a chance to get up once again, and the first miracle of the day is usually just waking up. That's for me.
Indeed, that's the first miracle. We take it for granted, and but the key thing about this moment is recognizing how this is what we have now, and to utilize it in the best way that we can. So with that said, I think it's time for us to start the day, start the breakfast hour as we usually start it, with our devotional from the lady herself, Susan Long. And I'm sure in these 2 to 3 minutes, you will find something, whether it's the quote of the day, whether it's the the narrative, or of course the verse that's selected today that you can apply to your life. So again, welcome to the breakfast hour. And of course, I have not forgotten those who are joining us via web radio. That's www.flashpointmedia.ky. We have always said, and of course, Claude Edwards, when he says, take Flashpoint with you. And that is it. If you're listening on YouTube and you feel like you need to rush out, of course, just log on to www.flashpointmedia.ky and take us with you on your journey to work or school. I know that persons are just back from holiday, trying to get back in the thick of things, but this is the ideal way for you to start your day.
As you mentioned, school, I want to say good morning to all the Cayman Academy staff and, of course, the students as well. When we come back, of course, after our devotional, much more to come.
Looking to build your dream home or renovate your space? M&M Construction is the perfect place. We bring your vision to life with precision and quality craftsmanship. From design to construction, we guide you every step, ensuring seamless coordination and superior results. Our professional roof inspection and maintenance services will ensure that your roof is sturdy this hurricane season. So, if you are ready to start your construction journey, call us today at 345-927-7509. Build with confidence. Build with M&M Construction. 345-927-7509.
Good morning. This is day 29. He entered a house and wanted no one to know it, but he could not be hidden. Mark chapter 7, verse 24. The One Who Could Not Be Hidden, written by Henry Bosch. Attar of roses, a fragrant oil, is one of the most valuable products of Bulgaria and is heavily taxed for export. A tourist, unwilling to pay the duty, sought to evade customs by concealing 2 vials of the precious fluid in his suitcase. Apparently, a little of the perfume had spilled in his suitcase. By the time he reached the train station, the aroma was emanating from the luggage, declaring the presence of the hidden treasure. The authorities immediately knew what the man had done and confiscated the costly souvenirs. The Lord Jesus could not be hidden either. Crowds were constantly mobbing him to hear his words of wisdom, to benefit from his deeds of mercy, and to derive help from his loving compassion. After he ascended to his Father, Jesus' influence continued in the lives of his disciples. The populace realized that they had been with Jesus. Their deportment and their attitude marked them as his true followers. Are you living completely for Jesus? Is the love of Christ so obvious in your life that those who know you realize that you're a follower of the One who could not be hidden? If so, the world will readily see that you are on God's side. Your influence cannot be hidden. When we've been alone with Jesus, learning from him day by day, others soon will sense a difference as we walk along life's way. Our quote this morning reads, "You cannot hide your influence." End quote.
It is breakfast hour, and today I realized that if you haven't noticed, this very moment, this very time is going to happen just now for this time. It is a special occasion. Of course, it's time for us to get deep into our conversation about our finances. But I will share with you a quote that I saw this morning and, shared by a colleague and a friend of mine. She said, "The hardest lesson I've learned as an adult, life doesn't stop even when you are hurt.
Hmm.
No matter the pain, exhaustion, or loss, you still have to push through. We grow up expecting happy endings, but find ourselves pretending to be okay just to survive. Yet through it all, we find strength we never knew we had." Can you imagine? That's the toughest lesson. Life just goes on and on. But this morning I want to say to our listeners and viewers, thank you for joining us on the breakfast hour this morning. We're going to be sharing from our financial advisor as he gets us up to speed so that we can certainly improve our financial literacy.
Of course, this morning, as you mentioned that, Lady Elise, and talk about the idea of when you're hurting and pain is happening. And, I remember, I had my mother, I lost my mother, and I was working at this particular institution. And, it was like, I don't know if it was just heartlessness for some of those persons who did not think it was necessary for me to get that break or that time. But it was like, all right, she's dead now, get over it and move on. We got to keep going, And it was then that I realized that doesn't matter what you are feeling. Don't worry, others might not be feeling that too. So don't be trying to get them on board with yourself, feeling that they are supposed to be responsible for your sympathies and your sorrows and whatever it is. They don't have to be a part of it. And I see this as normal. And when I see it, I don't feel it abnormal that people can operate like this. But when people empathize, or they are able to do it with you, they are at a different place in time and space, right? And so we are called as people of God to be that set of persons who are not just casually move on. It happens, it's done. But be able to empathize with others when they are going through situation or crisis. And of course, to be there for others when they are in need, right? And so that is what we are definitely called for. And if you are a person who claim to be Christian or claim to be a person of God, and you don't find these attitudes or attributes, well, I guess you gotta go check and see where that relationship is with who you claim to be, And yeah, I'm just leaving that on the table, ladies. Of course, it's, as you said, time for financial advice. This morning, of course, we're talking a little bit more on real estate this morning, but after these messages.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Good morning, Lady Elise. And Mikey G, thank you again for having me on Flashpoint Radio on this terrific Tuesday. Today we'll be talking about real estate and how we can get passive income from it and to get generational wealth. So we'll be looking at several ways of why I believe that real estate is a way of growing your income, growing your wealth, and at the same time, I will share some stories with you on real persons that have made real estate investing from an early age a part of their portfolio. Good morning, Lady Elise and Mikey G. Thank you again for having me on Flashpoint Radio on this terrific Tuesday. Today we'll be talking about real estate and how we can get passive income from it and to get generational wealth. So we'll be looking at several ways of why I believe that real estate is a way of growing your income, growing your wealth, and at the same time, I will share some stories with you on real persons that have made real estate investing from an early age a part of their portfolio and has made it within real estate. From the bank to put down for a larger investment. For example, if you wanted to invest $200,000 in stock or in bonds, you would have had to have $200,000. To invest into a $200,000 property, you need 10% as a deposit. And depending if it's your first real estate, you may actually be eligible for as little as 5%. I've heard of no money down in the United States. I'm not going to go down that direction, but it is also possible. So yes, the first step, the first one, my first reason is actually, yes, borrowing money, leverage. The second is the fact that it generates passive income through rent. And the third, again, depending on your jurisdiction, it is you get a tax benefit of maintaining assets, and the income that is generated from it is not subject to the same tax code as normal income, earned income. And so because of those three, I recommend real estate as a first or one of the main ways of generating income and generational wealth.
Of course, you talk about passive income. You talk about passive income, and I just listened to the conversation just now, and I am deeply, I think most persons are deeply interested in this idea of having this passive income. So you're talking about rental property. Is there any other way that passive income could be had or could be identified, and a means of getting it, other means of getting passive income?
Of course they are, but today is not quite the day for that. So
All
we
right.
want to try to look at real estate in particular
Okay,
today
so real estate as a passive
as
income.
a passive income. That is right.
Okay, all right.
Now, another reason why I suggest real estate is the whole idea of wealth building. And I'll share this story with you. There's a young man, a client of mine, who started out his journey into real estate and investing about 15 years ago when he was 25. He was working at the hospital and he decided to buy his first home. Now, what he did, he didn't have all his deposit, so he went to the bank and took a short term loan, and he also had some savings that he pooled together to get his 10% deposit. He made the deposit on the home, and it so happened that this particular property was being built during that period. So it took about 6 to 10 months, 6 to 8 months before he was actually handed the key. During that period, he was able to pay off the short-term loan, right? In addition to that, he was now qualified, he had been qualified, pre-qualified for the mortgage. And instead of moving into the home, what he did was continue paying rent at his location where he was, because the rental income that he was able to generate from that new building that just went up was more and sufficient to cover the mortgage at that point in time. Now, at 40, 15 years later, he now has two properties. One that he lives in with his family, and of course, one that he rents out. And he is looking to purchase a third property. Now he has come back to me. You know, what can I do? I don't, with prices where it is, I don't have enough money. But now, because he has built up equity in those first two properties, he can actually get 100% financing. So between the new home that he's building, that is purchasing, and the two other properties, there's sufficient equity in it combined to get 100% financing. So the cash that he has, he can now use or put to other uses. And more interestingly, the new property that he's purchasing is enough. The rental income from it will be sufficient to cover the mortgage. I mean, just a little bit above. So he won't start seeing the benefits just yet. But at least it covers the mortgage. And so he will not have to dip into his pocket any at all to pay any additional money out of it. So what my advice is, use the equity in your existing property as you grow to make sure that you can get more financing. As I say, in this case, up to 100% financing for that third home, third unit, which he's now building a real estate portfolio. I have another story, another client, younger lady. She's just 25, started at age 21. Again with her, she did a mortgage, and she's in Jamaica, and what happened is that with the NHT, she qualified for all the that they were allowed to give. I think it was $6.5 million at the time, and she had a small deposit. She was now able to move into that property, not literally physically, but I mean purchase that property using the benefits that she had. In addition to that, now, because it was already a 20-year-old property, the price on it was not all that high. It was a one-bedroom starter unit, and it needed a little bit of repairs. She spent probably another a few $1,000s rather, and renovated, simple renovations, paint, fix a few broken tiles, etc. And once that was done, she was able to move a client in, or someone to rent the place. Initially, unfortunately for her, the rental income was a little bit lower than her mortgage. However, she was able to satisfy it normally through her earned income, her salary. What has happened though, if you realize what has happened over the last 4 years, is that the cost of that particular unit, or the price of that unit, has now almost doubled. So she has earned passive income on that property while she is also getting capital gains or a build-up of equity in that property. So her timing just before COVID has allowed her to get an increase in the value of her property. It has also gotten her increased income through rental, that over this just 4 years, her property value has almost doubled, and her income is now sufficient, more than sufficient, to cover the mortgage.
Wow.
So how can we get started? The first thing is to start saving early for that down payment. Secondly, look for properties that cash flow. So you're going into a property, make sure that you can get income from it, rental income that is. Third, make sure that you your mortgage is covered by that rental income, right? And whatever attendant expenses. Sometimes you have to take the risk, yes, as in the case of the young lady, that her payments, mortgage payments, were a little bit higher than her rental income. But as you see, it soon superseded it. Use your leverage wisely. Instead of buying a car, go ahead and buy that first apartment. You may be surprised to know that at 30,000 that you're able to spend on a car, you're able to use that as a deposit on your first home. Try it. We spoke about house hacking, which is rent out a portion of your apartment that you're in. So if you have a 2-bedroom and it's you one, why not rent the other one? Offset some of your mortgage. You have a home. You may wish to partition a part of it. You may have bought a duplex, or you're building one. Build a duplex rather than a single family only. So those are ways that we can look at using what you actually have already to increase your income. And then think long term. Use the appreciation in the value of your home and the rental income to leverage more so that you can build a real estate portfolio. The stories above that I mentioned are real people that have done it. 1 in 4 years, 1 in 15 years. It can happen for you. The key is to start, and not just start anytime, but start now. As I've always reiterated, the best time to start was 15 years ago. The next best time is today. All right? Well, I thank you very much for having me again on this terrific Tuesday where we talk about money matters. And as usual, you can reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also have an email address, broker@richardthelwell.com, and you can find me there. Send me some send me your questions, and I look out for them, and we can also share through Flashpoint. Thank you.
All right, as I listen to the conversation just now, ladies, and I am hearing, money matters, how persons or young people who would have learned how to save and put their money to work, but, sometimes we wouldn't hear so much of that being taught even in the local schools. We want to thank you this morning, Mr. Richard, for coming on this morning to tell us so much and give us so many pearls of wisdom for how to make money and keep some more to use at a later date. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
And thank you for having me.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine, your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and Coralie Karen, the unmistakable combination synergized to navigate.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Hour. And as our financial advisor so ably put it, It is Terrific Tuesday. It is terrific, and it is also a day that we choose to be tenacious in acquiring those gifts, in accomplishing those goals. A lot is going to be happening today. Connie J.E. comes on this evening just before you go your bed, and of course, she will be addressing the subject of church hurt. And of course, you must join us this evening at 7 p.m. for that live show. Otherwise, I encourage you to stay connected via our web radio. That's www.flashpointmedia.ky. An awesome day, a wonderful day to be alive this morning. And of course, we are still learning about how to manage our resources. And as I listen to the conversation, Mikey G, I will say choices,
Choices, yes. Lots of choices to make, ladies.
choices.
You know,
Every day we have them to make.
I have something I want to share with you, but I want to send it to you and let you take a look at it. But I stopped for a moment and I look at how profound the thing was. And when I looked at it, I said to myself, wow, what a thing to see. If we're able to do that one thing, how would we manage? How would we get it to work just like that? And if it does work like that, it would be exactly what you want it to be. Serious kind of financial creation, wealth creation. And so I saw that yesterday. I think I want to share it with you. Let you see, get a little bit of it later on when we finish the show. But, as we said, finances is one of the biggest part of our lives. Yeah, without it, you're unable to function. You're unable to take care of yourselves and, of course, your families. And this is what makes you either someone who is considered great or somebody is considered not great. Money. Money is a power. If people talk about power, I have power. What are you talking about? When people say this person have this amount of clout or this amount of power, what do you think they're talking about, ladies?
It can't be money, Mikey G. It cannot be as money. Well, is it?
It is as simple as money.
It's money.
It is money. Because if you're saying that this man runs a gang, it's because he can take care of his gang while he's able to keep it going. Money is a key factor that gives that gang the power. It gives him the power to maintain his authority. If he has no money, he has no authority. None whatsoever. And that's what it is. And if he didn't have any money starting out and the amount that he had, you'd have to send people out to get it quickly so you can maintain the power. So money, if anybody tell you about power, say, I understand it's money you're talking about. And that's what power is. Power is money. There is no other power but money on this earth. Unless you want to say Jesus Christ. And not even Christians don't even think it is so. Some of them.
Wow.
Yeah. Because when you listen to how people pray and think about Christ and think about God in its fullest sense, you hear, I don't know, if God willing, it will happen. But then a man with money just make it happen. But God willing, it will happen, right? A man with money, make it happen. But God is so puny and tiny that you can't get, and it burns my heart when I hear people who are of claiming Christianity say these things and become this, I don't know. I can't be like that. I can't feel that. I don't want anybody to carry me in that little box with them doing that. I'm not doing that. And I don't think the cattle on the thousand hill and everything is mine, said the Lord, mean that I'm the poorest of everybody on the planet and Christians must be the poorest set of people. I don't believe that. And so I don't want anybody to sell that story to anyone. Alright, having said that, Lady Elise.
Yes, having said that, it's time for our news. Our viewers and listeners want to know what's happening, not only here in Grand Cayman. Yesterday it was a rainy morning, but outside the studio it's bright and sunny this morning, and so there are the different changes in the weather And we are certainly thankful this morning, and thankful that you have chosen to join us here. So on that note, let's get into the news, and we thank our news anchor, Lady Corley Curran, in the able way in which she presents the news.
Tuesday, April 29th, and these are the news headlines on Flashpoint Radio. I'm Corley Karen. Cayman Islands to hold general election and referendum on the same day. Voters in the Cayman Islands will go to the polls on April 30 for a historic dual event, electing a new government while also participating in a non-binding referendum. The referendum invites citizens to express their views on three major national issues: whether the Cayman Islands should develop cruise berthing infrastructure, introduce a national lottery, and decriminalize the possession and consumption of small amounts of cannabis. The government has clarified that the referendum results will not be legally binding on the incoming administration, but will help guide future policy decisions. An estimated 23,829 voters are registered to cast ballots for 19 members of parliament. Political observers are closely watching after a turbulent political period which saw the United People's Movement lose its majority and several members cross over to other parties. Polling stations will open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Doctors Hospital thwarts a ransomware attack. Doctors Hospital has confirmed that it successfully contained a ransomware attack targeting its IT systems. Hospital officials say no patient records were compromised thanks to swift action led by Director of IT Patrick Turbide. Patient care continued uninterrupted, and all sensitive information stored on a non-Windows proprietary platform remained secure. Chairman Dr. Yoran Rado praised the hospital's cybersecurity team, saying, quote, "The safety of our patients, both their health and their personal information, is our highest priority," end quote. Full system operations are expected to return to normal by the end of Monday, April 28th. Cruise berthing project could cost over $300 million. As voters prepare to weigh in on the cruise berthing proposal, new analysis suggests that such a project could carry upfront capital cost exceeding $300 million, with lifetime cost reaching closer to $700 million when interest and infrastructure are factored in. Tourism Minister Kenneth Bryan has indicated that per passenger fees could offset some costs, but experts caution that the government would still likely bear a part of the financial burden. The debate continues as both sides campaign vigorously ahead of the referendum. Cruise berthing debate. Both sides rally voters. Proponents of the cruise berthing project, including the Association for Cruise Tourism, warned that 3,000 Caymanian families could lose their jobs if cruise tourism isn't expanded. Meanwhile, environmental activists demonstrated at Eden Rock over the weekend, highlighting potential threats to Georgetown's marine environment. Photographer and conservationist Courtney Platt, presented evidence on the environmental impact, urging voters to, quote, vote no at the referendum. Manifesto Watch: Education Reform and TVET a Priority. Education has emerged as a major campaign issue ahead of tomorrow's elections. All three political parties, the Cayman Islands National Party, the Cayman Community Party, and the Progressives, have promised significant education reforms. Plans include modernizing schools, improving teacher recruitment and training, reducing classroom overcrowding, and expanding vocational education and training to better prepare young Caymanians for the workforce. In regional news, World Bank approves new financing for Dominico. Turning to the World Bank has approved US $24 million in new financing for Dominico. The funds will support domestic revenue mobilization, bolster financial sector resilience, promote biodiversity conservation, and strengthen disaster preparedness. Dominica has faced severe economic setbacks from national disasters like Tropical Storm Erika and Hurricane Maria, and more recently damage from Hurricane Beryl. Public debt remains high at 103% of GDP, but the World Bank says this new support will help Dominica move toward greater fiscal and climate resilience. Those were your news headlines on Flashpoint Radio. Please continue to stay tuned for more updates.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care of yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, don't want to run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and Coralie Karen. The unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
First, I want to say welcome back to the breakfast hour. It is indeed a terrific Tuesday right here at Flashpoint. So many things happening around the world, and of course in the Cayman Islands this morning. Election is on the rise. Tomorrow is election day, and I'm
Yeah,
telling
of
you,
course, we had representatives from the Cayman Community Party here in
yes,
studio, and of course, they were able to share with us what they have as their main points that they will be addressing should they be elected. And that was an interesting conversation. It's certainly, Wednesday promises to be a very interesting day right here in the Cayman Islands, and we will definitely be keeping our fingers on the pulse. Perhaps what we could do is go out of studio, go to the different electoral areas, and kind of just get a feel of what is happening in the community. And that would be certainly an interesting thing to feature here on the breakfast hour, because we just learned that the polling stations will be open very early in the morning during the breakfast hour time, and certainly it would be good of us to be able to share what's happening on the ground.
a quick question to you, ladies. Are we having a national holiday tomorrow? I'm thinking. Yeah.
It is a holiday here in the Cayman Islands. It's election day, and it's a local holiday here.
But I have been not seen. We have not had a holiday first. Maybe this is the first time. I'm not sure. But I remember having election going on, and everybody went to work. Or maybe it's just some people who go to work. I think. Okay, I don't know. Anyways, holidays in the Cayman Islands, and it's election day, and we are hearing something about parties leaving, members of parties leaving other party and goes over to others. I heard that UDP. Did I hear UDP at one point? Oh, we didn't have UDP. Which one did we hear? I am definitely not hearing something this morning.
Yes.
But I'm into the yes.
But while you're speaking about that, I know we're talking about what's happening. But before I forget, you're going to remind me. So I'm just saying it now because it's at the fore. We are hosting here a family game night. Family meaning you choose members of your team, and they're your family for the night, right here at Flashpoint Studio on the 31st of May. So it's going to be a family, it's similar to Family Feud, family game night right here at Flashpoint, 31st of May. Bring your family members down. Plan to have some fun and some fellowship right here in the studio. So I just putting it out there. I know it has nothing to do with election time, but
you don't want to forget to tell the listeners. And the question is this: those who are online, could they do it online as well?
Yes. It's gonna be. We are working towards making it. Everyone can participate in this fun affair. It's gonna be amazing. You must be a part of it, and certainly we are actually going to be sharing a number of other things that are happening in the community as well, Mikey G.
All right. Well, I still wanted to say a little bit on the referendum.
Yes, please go ahead.
Things that will be voted on, and I didn't get whose party is going to be which party and who is shifting from which party to the next. But I certainly did get a little bit on the referendum. There's one of it. There's 3 points they want to be. Making some definite decision on. So when the election, when you vote this time, you're going to vote on these 3 points. And I missed one. And I didn't get one, but I have two. Cannabis. For those who don't know what cannabis is, it is a good ganja, marijuana. We like to make these nice words. We like nice words, but it's ganja. All right. So let's put it as it is. We call and the same thing. Hemp is the same thing. Hemp. You don't hear ganja anywhere at all, but it's ganja, all right?
Okay, a point taken, Mikey G. Hearing you loud and clear.
We like to disguise things, a lot. So I like to just show. It's like saying we want to look at the thing for what it really is. So let's show what we're talking about. We're talking about ganja, the very thing that we call the good old weed, the sensimilla, the cali weed, the other names, you know any other names? Any other names, Lady Elise, that you know? You don't have anybody who's a ganja farmer in your family?
No, I don't know. I do not know. I do not know. I do not know. It's like I do not know. Like
you don't know anybody that ganja
to the
farmer.
fourth power.
Well, I'm looking for some of my family relatives who probably be ganja farmers. Let me see if I can find a few.
You know, speaking of which, as you speak about that, I just students too are having exams. It's a busy period. CXC exams are in progress, and of course we must see if we could get the lady Camicia to share some exam tips.
Well, all right.
We will have to invite her on to share one of these mornings, and so when you're talking about something totally different, and I'm going.
I know you went off books a while ago. We are talking about the good cali weed that is being voted on on the referendum for tomorrow.
What is being voted on?
The good cali weed.
The
ganja. No, not
cannabis.
Cannabis. That's what it is.
When things have so many names, sometimes you're wondering if you're talking about the same thing.
All right. So the question is, should you criminalize someone for a small amount of ganja? Sorry, cannabis. I don't know if it's,
stick to one word.
Maybe it's not the same thing. Maybe I'm mistaking.
You need to do your research.
I may have to do
research. That's what I have to say.
All right. Anyways, guys, I think it's too long. You're locking up somebody for a stick of weed. I think so, but with me saying that, I don't believe in smoking. I will say this, but the thing is, it's a grown plant that you grow and pick it up. It's at the ground. It grow. It grow.
Well, listen. I'm
not swinging. I'm not swinging it. But look how ridiculous it looks right now. How many persons have gone in Jamaica for ganja over the years, spend years of their lives for a stick of weed? Policeman beat them, nearly kill them, right? And I'm not promoting smoking. I'm not promoting any drugs or any of that. I'm not doing that. But it's ridiculous to see the country that actually plant the thing and now they have legalized it, right?
Yes.
And then what do you do with the persons now who you lock up in jail and beat them and disenfranchise their families for how many years? How do you reconcile stuff like that?
You'd say sorry. I mean,
there it is. Of course.
Was it Marcus Garvey granted?
Sorry, guys. We just took away your life from you, but sorry.
They told him sorry after he died, right?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. A lot of persons are being told sorry after they have died.
Yeah, but it's better than none at all.
All right. So, So for those who are going to be voting against or for, go do your thing, man. I mean, if Cayman is not ready for any cannabis, Cayman is not ready for cannabis. So, people, vote for what you choose, vote for what you want, and that's what I'm saying. That's
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes. And of course, I'm just springing everything on you, Mikey G. Our program, the debut of our Flash Talks. It might have another name by Thursday, but nonetheless, we are going to keep the conversation frank and funny and fun. It starts this Thursday at 7 p.m. It's a roundtable discussion, and we invite.
Are we going to have a roundtable? Are we going to actually have a roundtable to discuss?
And cranny across the world. On this episode, we'll be talking about customer service and what it means to you. And is it a thing of the
Man,
past?
I have a topic. I have a topic I want to talk on, man. And I'm telling you.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
going to be interesting. And so you're going to look out for that comment this Thursday. Be a part of the conversation. And of course, I know there are a lot of other things we want to share. I don't know if you have anything else to share with us, Mike.
No. I did say I had three on the referendum. The cruise berthing facility, that was something that was introduced by the then McKeever Bush government back in the
Yes.
2000 and something. I don't remember the exact year, but that was one of the biggest thing. I think 2010 when he was back in power. I think or about 2010. I'm not sure.
Yes.
That was one of the biggest thing on his books to create a cruise berthing facility in the eastern area of the island, eastern part of the island, not in the Georgetown area, where it would have brought more life to that section of the island.
Yes.
So, I remember these things. I'm one of those guys who follow the information. So when you hear these things coming up, it's not something that is new, but I remember who brought it to the table. So I want to say, big up to the man McKeever, Honorable McKeever Bush, for bringing these things. So now you know that I like McKeever Bush.
It's okay. You're supposed to like everybody.
I do like everybody. I do like everybody. But I like people with innovation and great ideas, and I just love that, And so I will bring mention to these things, right?
And on that note, I will share this extra special thank you. Before we do anything else, I want to say thank you to our subscribers. The brand new one, we are pushed over the 2,000 mark. We are climbing. Thank you.
Let's go again. Let's do it. All right. That was awesome. All right.
You're having just a little bit too much fun.
Too much fun right here in the studio this morning.
Too much fun. That's what I say. Too much fun.
Yes.
And of course, just sharing now, I want to just share with you a few happenings. And I think I should start with the most recent, or the thing that's going to be happening closer to today. What do you think, Mikey G?
Yes, please.
All right, so let's start.
2,000.
For great food, great deals, and a great cause, then don't miss the car boot sale and fish fry hosted by the Ebenezer Seventh-day Adventist Church, happening Wednesday, April 30 from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Airport Park. Enjoy mouth-watering fish and other tasty treats, plus browse a wide range of household items, clothes, books, and more, all at unbeatable prices. Best of all, every purchase supports the Manna Foundation, bringing hope and help to those in need. That's Wednesday, April 30 from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Airport Park. Come early, bring a friend, and be a blessing while you shop and eat. Join us, the Ebenezer Seventh-day Adventist Church, where faith meets community.
All right. That promises to be exciting.
Yes.
Flashpoint should be there, but it promises to be interesting, exciting. All the wonderful words you can use, and then of course coming up,
And that's tomorrow, right?
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. That's right on election. That's on election day. Fish fry election day. Of course, let's put up ASI. All right, so let's go to ASI.
ASI walk run 5K walk run happening Sunday the 11th. That's Mother's Day Sunday, and it's gonna be at 6 a.m. sharp.
When is Mother's Day Sunday, Ellie? This weekend?
No. This weekend is the 4th. The following weekend is the 11th.
I just thought Mother's Day was just every Sunday.
You just thought so, right?
Every Sunday is Mother's Day. And every day after that is Father's Day. Go to work. Work.
Of course, it's an opportunity for you to take care of your health and well-being, meet members of the community. It's not a race. Persons from all ages and walks of life, and you don't necessarily have to run. You can walk, you can stroll, you can saunter. It's an opportunity to get out of your house, get some fresh air while you take care of your health. So ASI present Let's Move. Yes.
Go ahead, ladies. Finish. I was about to just interrupt a little bit. Yes, go ahead.
I know, but just want to invite. Yes.
All the people. All right, so 5K run walk, ASI, and that's happening on Sunday, May 11th, 2025 at 6 a.m. As you said, iCool Air is a sponsor for this event. The Seventh Day is in association with the Georgetown Seventh Day Adventists, or the Conference of Seventh Day Adventists, right here in the Grand Cayman Islands. I want to let everybody know, guys, it's an open invitation for everyone who wishes to run. I was about to say, some persons. You ever go to them like your kid sports day? I don't know. Have you ever gone to any of the sports day for your children?
Yes. Don't you see me? I have got medals from running in my mind. Anyway,
so you go to the school event, and then they're having teachers and parent race. And so the parent remembers that they were the track star from high school back in the day, and decide to do a 100-meter dash down that track. And then at the end of it, me pull a muscle. Listen, guys, when you come out to running at these things, please remember your body needs some form of conditioning to do these very vigorous movements. I say to people all the time, let me just leave that one. I'm not going to say no more.
Let me
leave that one. I'm going to leave that one alone because it might be a sensitive matter, and I don't want to say that. So leave it.
Let me just share, of course, what's going to be happening later on in the summer, and that is the mission trip, July 27 to August 30, and that's going to be something to look forward to, and certainly we are going to be certainly enjoying that one. Yes, mission trip to Belize. The cost is only $1,500, and with that $1,500 CI, you will, of course, cover your
accommodation,
tickets, your accommodation, and insurance, and food. And of course, the date is from July 27 to August 10. Something to look forward to for the summer for you and your family. And come.
As you said, I know the people are, as Jamaicans say, I know black ants, I know biting ants, I know little pitty me little ants, but I don't know insurance. So that's it.
I'm going to have to ask our financial advisor to revisit. We had Insurance Week, and he spoke about the importance of insurance, and I'm going to ask him to revisit. We have been told repetition deepens impression.
Yes.
And of course, I am super happy to be in this space this morning. It has been a journey right here at Flashpoint, the breakfast hour, and it's an opportunity every morning to be deliberate, to share from ordinary people, getting the inspiration to motivate you, to remind you that no matter what circumstance you face, remember that God is still sitting on the throne. He still loves and cares for you. And just to remind you, all the positive messages, being deliberate to sift through it. And certainly we are happy that you have joined us. We are thankful that you have made us reach the 2,000 mark. We are saying thank you, thank you, thank you again. And we hope to continue to provide great programs for you. And so it will inspire you, your family, your neighbor, your friends, your enemy, everybody get inspiration. And so I want to thank you for joining us on this version of the Breakfast Hour. Tenacious Tuesday it is. Whatever you're wondering, what, you're overwhelmed by the circumstance, but you have this goal to reach, baby steps, get there and be tenacious. I want to wish you all the best for today and beyond today. Over to you, Mikey G. I'm just talking.
That's all right. As the financial advisor said, 10 years, 15 years ago was the best time to start something. The next best time is today. Thank you, Lady Elise, of course, for being my host and, of course, co-hosting with me this morning right here on the Breakfast Hour. Of course, thanks to Cordy Karen for the news this morning and our news anchor, Cordy Karen, for delivering again. All right, so today we want to say tomorrow is Wellness Wednesday, so stay tuned to the Breakfast Hour for your health check tomorrow, right here on Flashpoint.
Yes, man, we're going to have to make that a very interesting one. And of course, we need to reach out to the Ephesians. They wanted to join us to speak about their mission trip. Let's make that conversation happen. Lots happening, but let's be deliberate about it. Thank you so much for joining us for the Breakfast Hour. May the Lord bless you abundantly more than you can ever ask, think, or imagine. Give somebody a call. Say hi. How are you? Bless up. Love you. Take care. All the best. This is Lady Elise.
As the Cayman Islands decide on whether or not to have more weed or less weed, let's go forward this morning and thank God for His many blessings on us. I don't subscribe to smoking. We do not subscribe to smoking. But let's listen to the conversation on where it is. Choose this day whom He will serve. You cannot legislate morality, as I understand. Hold up your head, Lady Elise. Say a word. We cannot legislate morality. That's just a final thing. We have been trying a lot of things like that lately.
Yes, we can't legislate morality.
It has to be something that is inside you.
Yes.
Anyways, 2,000 subscribers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, and that's it, guys. Have yourself a blessed day.
Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and Coralie Karen. The unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our own way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd, just you and me. together, it will all seem better outside. Just us in the sky. I will go wherever, I'll be yours forever. Are we part of this circus? Is it innate? Feels like a heavy burden, but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter? Or is this our fate? At least now I'm feeling better. I know I'm here to stay. Won't you come outside?